Good morning, everybody. Since the kids are home from school, it seems like the best time to do these Q&A videos is going to be early in the morning until after um, the third week of August. So today, let's handle the Thursday Q&A. It was brought to my attention that that I have a series of videos up already of molding and resin casting, but it has come to my it's come to my knowledge that for some reason the first video is not up. So I was going to work with you guys today on that one, on the first video of resin casting. I don't know what happened that video. The question's been brought up for a while. I can tell you this: next week, something I want to do is I want to start doing a rusting tutorial for you guys. But I got some things in the works that I need copies for some other builds, and it was suggested that when I do that I jump in, and I should do that for Tech How To. So today it's what we're going to do. Now for me is I have different size things to do molds in, different boxes and whatnot. Some of the guys in the community, they'll build their boxes. You guys seen how Sheldon does his boxes. I got stuff as small as this, if I was doing small parts. And the reason why I do this is because it's already solid. There's going to be no leakage. It's already got the nice even edges. And, I got an array of boxes and stuff that I use, just from around the house and what have you. An old airbrush come in something like this, so you have the top and you have the bottom. This right here is going to take a lot to fill up. So if I have a very small piece, I put in there. If I have a piece that's a little larger, it'll go in there, so, you could take your little plastic things, and then I use those, because the rubber that I use is very flexible, and then I'll show you guys what else I do. We'll put that off there to the side. Today, what we're choosing to use today is just your everyday common, slide out parts for your drawers, just like if you have a pull out thing. Guys, I want to say a big shout out to a few people in the community real quick. You guys see the cameras at a different angle right now. It was brought to my attention by several of you, and then I got to talk personally with the guy, John Antics, I think that's his last name. He's watched the videos. He don't post much, but he's watched the videos for years, and he knew I was doing a collection of Grand Prix, and he sent me this Grand Prix. It might look rough to some of you guys, but man, it's going to play a big part on a Holy Grail kit that I've always wanted to build for myself. You guys know I built one for Robert over there at the Busted Knuckle Garage, but this one here will be for me. So a big shout out to John for looking out, and he picked this up, and he contacted me on Facebook. He says, hey, I had the opportunity to pick up a Grand Prix. Are you still looking for one? And I was like, yes, sir. What do you want? And he was kindly enough to says, I don't want anything. I just enjoy your channel. I like what you do on your channel, and I wanted to see you get a Holy Grail that you've been after. And without hesitation, he put this in the mail, and I'm very thankful to John for doing that. It is rough, but he's included the majority of all the parts I'll need. It has the dash. It has good windows, which I'm surprised, being how glue bomb as the car itself is. The windows are actually clean. He sent me a resin hood. And, it has the custom front bumper in there now, but he also included a stock front bumper. It'll have the stock rear bumper. So great shout out, John. Really thank you for that. A channel I want you guys to go check out. You guys into doing the custom model building like I do. My friend Tom Jackson, his YouTube channel is Wood Choppers Hollows Custom Painting Cars. guys, he has taken off like an ape at a banana sale. He has gotten the new Revell release of the Suburban, the 66 Suburban, and man, he's chopped. He might have 6 of them on the go right now. He's building, and what's great about Tom is he usually don't build factory stock. Usually he's just a custom car builder. He likes stuff like I do, the Pro Touring look, the hot rod look. He's a big supporter of Steve Zimmerman, the same as I am. You know, the cars look great on Steve's wheels. But Tom has went and got original brochures, and he's building all the stock trucks from 60 up to 67, 66, up until they changed the body style. And he's made the Suburbans, the panels, the trucks, the short bed truck, the long bed trucks. You guys got to go over there and check out what he's doing on his channel. And then many of you are already subbed to him on Facebook. He's got a very low tolerance for bullshit. So if you're a crybaby or shit starter, he'll ban you quick as hell over there on Facebook, so just be warned. It's about modeling, guys. I know there's been a ruckus going on in the community, but what I do in the community is I try to be informative, and I try to be funny. I try not to cuss or belittle anybody. I try not to, you know, we all have friends and there is cliques in here, but I'm a grown man. I do what I want to do for my pleasure, not because anybody else has encouraged me to do something. And I know there's some stuff going down between a few of you guys in the community. I try to respond since I was brought up in it. I'm sorry I didn't give Chaz the answer that he needed, but respectfully, I hope we can talk like a man. No threatening, none of this bull crap. I've never said anything derogatory to Chaz or to anybody else that's a matter of the problem. And I just want Chaz to know that, you know, I'm in the community to help, to share, and for growth. I don't want anyone to think that I'm in here trying to start stuff or be an internet bully, because that is not me. And I try to refrain from, you know, being belligerent to anybody. We are grown men. We all have our place to comment, to respond. Whether it's negative or not, it's just on the way you take it. I'm sorry that my thumbs up instead of a comment took your direction in a different way to where you're upset with me. But you know, I can't control how you perceive stuff, Chaz. Just stay positive, and like I said, don't let people decide if you're going to be on YouTube or Facebook or whatnot, because that there gives the opposing man, when you said, you know, wins and losses, if you shut your stuff down, that's what they want, and that's how they win. Now, I get along with everybody mentioned in these said videos the last couple weeks, so you guys just be, you know, just take in consideration the perception that you guys yourself are putting off, and you know how you want to be perceived, I guess, too, at the same sense. So let's get back to where I was. And also today in the community, Funky Blues Garage had talked about how did you get into the hobby. I've explained before that, you know, my dad would always been around cars. I get into cars when I was very young, and by the way of my dad spending a rainy day at the kitchen table, I would climb on his lap, I'd get in his way, and finally one day at about the age of 5, he slid me my own kit, and I've been hooked ever since. And then Chaz also mentioned today in his video today that he's gotten a motor from Jeremy John over there at C1. Not C1, but Clearly Scale. I got a few projects going on right now in the garage, or on the shop, I should say, over here, that involve a lot of C1 stuff and Clearly Scale. And yes, there's great products coming from John Jeremy over there at Clearly Scale. And like Chaz had mentioned, it takes a while to get it, but the product is worth it. What I'm going to do today is show you a process that I do in resin casting. Now, with all resin casting, Chaz had made a comment that he thinks that, you know, his motor was a little saggy or lopsided, he said. But what Chaz is talking about is sometimes when dealing with resin, you don't always get a perfect piece depending upon how it's molded. And I've damaged several pieces before trying to sand them down. Ross Gibson engines were about 4 times too big for our scale. If I was to tell you guys the truth, they always felt like they were a 1/20th motor. And, you know, we build 1/24th, 1/25th, so they always needed sanded down, and sometimes you can sand down too far to correct. Some of Steve Zimmerman wheels, or the way he casts the wheels, sometimes they don't fit directly under a car without, you know, building some tubs or whatnot. And sometimes, you know, I've tried to sand it down and put a narrower tire on it and have damaged the resin personally. But what Chaz was talking about being saggy or whatnot is sometimes we sand the resin, you know, prepping the resin to build just a little too much or not enough. But they're great motors. I have several different items from Clearly Scale. Let's see. In this next project here, we got going on for ScaledWorld.net. This car here is going to be loaded with Clearly Scale. Here's a Clearly Scale interior tub. And you guys can produce some great things in resin if you know how to prep it and do it right. I don't use the same resin that Jeremy does. As Jeremy does, this green resin is pretty decent. It's thick. This right here is very thick, but it gives you the support and stuff. Sizing it up to this chassis, I don't think it will work for what me and Scaled World want to do with it. Because this right here is more of like a tub where you can actually build a little drag car out of this. I think this tub is too wide for the style that we're going with. But this right here is a Clearly Scale piece. I have the second Hemi. Chaz showed the one Hemi he has. I have the 6.4 Hemi from Clearly Scale that is going into this car here. You can see I have a different set of valve covers. I do have the Pro. I have a super. I have a blower, and Chaz has the supercharged one. So, you know, the great, like Chaz said, great product. It is worth the money. Chaz had stated that for his income tax return, he's going to stock up. And that's a good way to stock up, guys. If I ever told you, I'm a convenience builder. So when I get low on something, usually I buy a multiple of it. And I buy a multiple of it and have them on hand for what I need. So today, with that being said, what we're doing today is I'm going to cast parts that I've purchased that I know will go, I need more of. I don't cast other people's stuff to sell for purchase, so please understand that I'm not in this to make money. I'm just making me enough to keep going. You got an $18 motor. An $18 motor, guys, from Clearly Scale. You know, there's a Clearly Scale bumper valances and a Clearly Scale hood. So Jeremy John over there on Facebook, you guys can go to Clearly Scale. You can see it's very nice. It's just got fingerprints and stuff on it. some very nice stuff. So there's some nice stuff. If you do a good prep and everything, there's some nice stuff out in resin. And then we got the full C1 Liberty Walk body kit we're putting on this one too. This right here will be a later project, guys. Just with Chad's video this morning, I wanted to give Chaz a shout out, and I wanted to share some other stuff that come from Clearly Scale. So like I said, guys, we have a whole range of people that offer stuff in resin. It looks like we got 12 people watching. So let me get back to what we were doing. And then C1's another place that I get a lot of resin stuff from. Forgot my instruction sheet, didn't I? Alright, so we got all that out of the way. What do you guys think about the new camera view? As by request of John, when I was talking about how everything was going and how he perceived the channel, John made the comment that it would be better to look at what I was doing versus just the logo. And some of the people that give me a lot of support is going to be scaledworld.net. I got new swag here for the Styrene Syndicate. And then, don't know, you guys know I've always promote the Ultimate Modeling products, and then International Scale Modeler. Two great groups have accepted me for who I am, and they've been very encouraging for me, and then some great products. And then I also got a Zoom On logo this week, and I got Stance. No, it's actually set off to the side, third gear. I had, most of the time, the camera sets off of these two little holes right here, and then it comes this way and dips down. But John had mentioned that basically you guys were seeing this logo here, and then I'm working way over here where you guys can't see. So I thought I'd bring it down a little bit and give you guys more of a view. I'd asked John, since he was a viewer and don't really comment a whole lot, what did he think of the way I do the videos. He says he likes the way a lot of the videos are and how informative they are, but I was leaving you guys to a point. Yeah, I got rid of the flame. I got rid of the flame there, Fred. If you guys don't know, one day I was doing a how-to, and I had my little candle out. I had this little candle out, and as I'm talking and sharing with you guys, I took my damn case that I use for products, and I caught the damn thing on fire. Oh, so Pappy's giving me a little hustle. So, all right, let's get back. Okay, so what I do is I like to use a box. I like to use a box to where it already standards, there's no holes in it, and I ain't got to worry about no leaking. And then what I do, so I don't permanently glue, nothing down to the plastic. So what I do is I take some 3M tape, and then what this does, lets me glue my master down. This will let me glue my master down. And then once I glued it down, it's glued down to the tape. I can pull the tape off, and then my piece comes up, and then I just sand the tape off the back side. Now I'll show you guys the products I'm using here. I use these because they're readily available. I can get them at Hobby Lobby, 40% off coupon. Makes them about 20 a piece versus 30 a piece. What I do is, this right here is going to be a long video because I keep talking. And then what I do, so I do that. I don't worry about the sides. I just do it like that. And then you get the product that you want to recast, or that you want to cast. Andreas from Laying Low Hobbies has 3D printed some wheels and stuff like that. And so sometimes, you know, if you buy a one-off set or something, you might want another set of wheels, or you know, you want to widen the wheel that you have, or there's just a set of wheels that you really like that you want to keep going with. Sheldon, if you look at Sheldon's line of resin products, he has so much. It is just awesome. Today we have a generic. Battery. There's a that generic battery. What is this? This is some other stuff that I've collected over the years. Yeah, here it is. So today here's a I'm gonna see if there's a difference between. Here's Sheldon's battery box, and here's Sheldon's. Okay, see the difference? Here's Sheldon's Optima battery. It's more like the real one. But then I've gotten this I picked up years ago that has a little bit of different style. So instead of copying Sheldon's, we're going to copy this one. And then I got Sheldon's kept up over here. Alright. Then I got this air breather I picked up some time back. So we'll put that down in there. Then here's some other resin motors and stuff that I just picked up along the way from different, you know, from other people. But I got these here, and I wanted to do these, and they actually say turbo, you know, these right here. I don't know where these came from. So I thought about copying these. And then, what else do I have in here? Some toolboxes. Then I have all... I don't know what all this stuff is. But, you know, there's some other stuff that we'll prep. That's a big starter. MDS box. Another MDS box. What's that? This is just resin stuff I picked up over the years, guys. So right now I'm just looking through. So I know I want to cast those four. I don't know, guys, what are these? I think this right here is a fuel regulator. Then we got valve covers. Now, I don't know, these right here must be big block valve covers. They look decent. Here's some big Hemi valve covers. They look decent. And then that's another thing you guys got to do. You got to look and make sure you have what you want, you know. Don't just run out there and start casting stuff because you can cast stuff. Here is, these right here need some cleanup, but look at this stuff I picked up. I probably won't cast those though. Then I got this little, looks like little Dodge stuff. But anyway, so I know I've been wanting to work on them. So we'll get those out. And then what you do is, for me anyway, what I do, put that up. What I do is I make them flat. And that way I don't do two-part mold. So what I'll do is I'll make this flat. And then, where's my sanders? Yep, right here. So what I'll do is I just get in here. And then I make it flat, so that way it's going to set down flat. And then I put a little bit of super glue in them, and then I glue them into place where I need them to be set at in place. So we'll do the same to this one. Well, that way, since I have two of these, I'm going to go ahead and cast them at two at once, so that gives me more product to stock up on. And then like there, you know, you want to get the flattest piece you can, so that way the mold don't get up underneath there. Now, I'm going to add more stuff to this mold as soon as I acquire more of what I want. Let me see, here's some. I'm just looking through some stuff real quick, guys. Seeing what all I do have up, out, and ready. That was Mustang stuff. Alright, now, if I forgot where I was headed, guys. Now I'm confused. Okay, but anyway, let me get... But see, once you get your stuff sanded down and everything, I already got a box ready, and now we'll just go on to the mold. Here's a box of stuff that I have ready to cast. And then what we're going to use, we are using the Alumilite high strength mold. Now it's a 10-to-1 mix. And we'll show you guys how I do that. Now, it comes with this product. The product comes like this. You get a few measuring cups. And it gives you a pamphlet on how to do it. But for me, I use... Where did my stuff go? Where did it go? Now I don't see my stuff. It's amazing how I have everything ready and then it disappears. Alright. Now for me is, since it's 10-to-1, what I usually like to do is I usually go a 150 on my mold, and then I'll go 15 on the activator, because that's in CC and this is in CC. So I open this up like so, and instead of just going in there and pulling stuff apart, I I do this. I'll make a little hole right here in the back, and then I cut, so you guys can't see that, and then I cut like a pour spout this way, so that way I don't lose all the product. Then I have me two, hey, what's up, Dish? I have two popsicle sticks stuck together. Then what I do is I just go in there and I give it a little bit of a swirl first, just to make sure that all the stuff is off the bottom. Alright. Then, like I said, I pour this. I'll use that to mix here in a minute. And then I pour this out. To 150. Put the lid back on it immediately. Now, you take this. Now we shake up the activator. Where'd my hobby knife go? Right here. Then I do the same thing with this. Give it a little vent, and then give it a cut. Yeah, Saturn, this is one reason why I want to do this. I had a 3-part video, but for some reason, the first part disappeared, so I'm going to redo it today doing this. So then you just pour this up till you get to the 15. And then you pour it right in it. And then I sit here and you mix it until it turns pink. Make sure you get everything in there. Oops. Now, there's a lot of other products out there. I know Steve Zimmerman, he uses Vagabond and Aluminol or Luma something. He don't use Alumalite as often as I do. He uses another one. And there's a few other guys out there that choose not to use the Alumalite stuff like I'm showing you guys how to use today. But like I said, I don't sell none of this. This is all for me. I build enough and I use enough of this stuff. I know how to work with it, and I can paint and detail it, and it works good for me. But yeah, if you are trying to be a vendor of resin aftermarket stuff, you do want the best that you can, because it's nothing worse than spending 10 or 11 bucks in resin and you can't use half of it because it's either air bubbly as hell or it's not casted all the way. You know, there's all kinds of issues that you guys can get when dealing with buying resin if they don't use the right stuff. I stir it once like this, and then I knock it around. And what I'm doing, I'm trying to bring some of the air bubbles to the top, if you guys can see that. And then I go back in there, and now I slowly turn it to try to bring more of the air bubbles up top. And make sure everything, you know, pull it up from the bottom, make sure it's all getting mixed. Kind of like you're folding it over each other. And then I scrape all that back off. Now there's a Smooth On product that's a 50-50 mix, and it don't take, you know, it takes about the same curing time, but it's a 50-50 mix, guys. It's easier to mix or whatnot, but like I said, I have to order it. This stuff here is available at my local hobby shop. So then I have this, and it's a Parafilm. It's a paintable mold release. Then what you do is you shake it up. I can't spray this on camera, but I'm going to spray this. You always want to put a mold release on this stuff. You don't want to cake it on there. You just want to be able to spray it and give it a coating. And then I let that set for a few minutes while I'm letting this air bubble out. If you guys can see the air bubbles popping in it. And then, you know, you spend a few minutes and you keep doing this. And what that does is that forces some of your air bubbles up to the top. And like I said, you guys can, there's a lot of great casters out there that you guys can purchase stuff from. It's some drag parts for a friend of mine. We went, and we're going to make a few copies for us for a few projects. Basically, that's all it is. Dish, a turbo, a fuel rail, a drag transmission, and a bell housing, just some small stuff. But I put a bunch of small stuff together so that way we can, you know, I'm getting the most out of my mold. And you always want to give yourself room. Like if you notice, I'm not right up, you know, you give yourself room so that way the mold can be thick enough to where you can pull your parts without ripping your mold. This stuff I use here is high strength mold. It does pretty well. But there's other molds, like for instance, my first Coyote mold. You see this, and it's flexible, but it's still hard, you know. But then you have this mold here, which I'm using now. Look how soft that is, you know. So I get an easier release. I'm getting better detail. I can almost fold this in half, and you can't do that with this one. This is all the further you can fold that, you know. So this mold here is very flexible, and this one here is not so much. But like this right here would be subwoofers that I've redone. Valve covers that I've redone. I was lucky enough to get some stuff from Draft Design before he shut down, and this is some of his stuff. But now you guys can purchase this stuff from he's on Facebook. I can't remember. JPS wheels and stuff, and he has all this stuff now. I don't know if he carries the 2015 through 2017 headlights, but these are headlights that Draft sent to me, and since I have so many kits, I just went ahead and recopied that. They could dish, but then that involves a lot more than you can purchase through, say, Hobby Lobby. That's where you'd have to buy the stuff by the pound. And when you buy your rubber mold and stuff like that, guys, they don't go by, you know, give me a core or something like that. They actually go by a pound. So if you went to order, I know Smooth On, there's a shop in California that my friend Jose used to get 5 pounds at a time, and you know that's a lot of damn resin, a lot of damn mold, because But it took a lot of mold to mold the body, and then you got so many parts in a kit dish. What I try to duplicate is products that I can use on a multiple use. It's really wouldn't be money savvy if you was just going to reproduce one thing, unless you know how to mix this stuff. You know what I mean? Because you'll waste more product than it's worth. And heck, I got carburetors for days, subs, speakers. We got wheels and tires. We got all kinds of stuff that I like to redo. So now that I've done this, all the air bubbles are starting to pop. I got a lot of them coming to the top. I don't see anything underneath. I don't see anything on the sides. What I'll do now is, you see me give it one last slap. Usually I slap it about 4 times. And then yeah, now this after I make the mold, and we'll get into that in a second. After you do the mold will cure overnight. So tomorrow I can take this apart and start making parts. But what you do is, this mold here came out of this right here. Alright. So what I did is I did the same thing. I laid my valve covers down. Laid all my valve covers down on the tape. Poured the mold over the top of them. When this was done and cured, I just pulled that like this. That came out. So then I have the mold. My parts are still on the tape in there. And then right here, let me mix my resin. And I poured those in there. And then I get my resin copies. So now, how I pour it, this is the parts I'm using. And then how I pour it, I start right in the middle. And I just pour it like this. And then I let it, you pour it slow, so that way it gets into everything. Morning, Jimmy. No, they'll pop right out. I'll show you here in a second, Dish. So what I do, guys, is I pour about half of it like that. And then what I'm letting it do, I'm going to let it set in there. See how it's slowly leveling out? Oh, good morning, Motorhead. How have you been, bud? And then what I'm doing is I'm letting all that mold go around the parts and set in and settle in. If you guys can watch it fill itself in. Jimmy, I hope you're feeling better. I know last week you wasn't feeling too well. Now you see how it's filling itself in? So as it fills itself in, you can drop it. You can give it a few more smacks. And then you're letting it, what you're doing is you're letting it get around the part. You're letting the air bubbles come up. This would be the same way I would mold a body too, Dish. But the way to mold a body, let me get an empty body. Alright. Say say this is the body you wanted. Say you wanted to cast this body. First thing you would do, you'd build a box big enough. You always want more mold, because you want to be able to cast more than one item. So what you do is you make a box about twice as big as the item that you're using. Now you can see my motor block there, and then see how much more we're going to go over the top of that. Now, so what you do, you fill this body full of clay, and then you set it like this, and then you pour the mold over the body. And then once it cures, you pull everything out of, you flip your box over, you take the bottom part off of your mold box, remove all the clay, and with all the mold still around the outside, you spray your release agent in there, and then you put your mold back on. In order to do a body correctly, you need a 2-part mold. So now that I let that set there, you guys see how it's leveled itself out? I'll go back in there, do a few more pops just to make sure. And I go back in there with the rest of the mold. Still staying right in the middle. And with as long as I've been doing and casting, I knew that 150 was going to be enough for the parts I'd put in here. And that's what happens when you start using the same boxes over and over and over, guys. You'll get used to knowing what you need to mix to get your product. And the reason why you don't want to go back and forth, like if you was pouring a cake mix, how Dish said it looked like a cake batter, is because if you went back and forth, you're creating an air gap. When you do it straight from the center, then it's pushing the air out of the product while it's moving back and forth. Okay. They have a remelt, John. They have a remelt by Alumilite, and it's about the same price, and basically you can heat it up either in the microwave or boiling water, and then basically you just put your part down. You put your part down and it will copy your part, and then you just alright. So then what I do, it's easier to get the rubber out of my dirty cup. I put my spoon back in there like this. I get it flat on that wall, because once everything cures in the cup, I'll just pull that out and all the rubber comes with it. What CT, buddy? I don't know what CT is. And then once everything's in there, we tap it like this. And you guys can start to see all the air bubbles coming to the top. Since I don't have a pressure pot and can't pressure cast, this is how I do, and this is how it works for me. And then I don't go in there and pop the bubbles. I let the bubbles pop themselves. See if you guys can't see that. At this point, I can't lift the mold up. Let me see if I move that light. Yeah, see there, you can see some of the bubbles now. But some of the parts were cast in right here. Like I said, they were 3D printed. So they're not readily available. So we're getting those. We're getting some copies made so that way we have more on hand. And then if you guys can see, after that, see how I'm eliminating all the air bubbles. And when you're doing that, you're actually letting the mold come down and settle. And those air bubbles are going to work their way up to the top. And like I said, this time tomorrow, we can, you can go on eBay, Dish. You can go on eBay and you can look up Smooth On. You can look up Lumalite. You'd want the Lumalite. I was reading Jones' comment. You'd want to look up Lumalite. You can want to look up Smooth On. You can look up Vagabond. And there's a few more. There's a few more out there. There's a few resin pages on Facebook too. You guys can go look at, and to make your guys' own decision. The reason why we here at Mini Dreams use the Lumalite is because of the availability. I can just get in the car, drive down the road, purchase it, and get to work versus ordering it and happen to ordering it. If you've never done it before, Dish, if you've never done it before, there's a small kit like this, and inside the kit will be your resin. You'll have the resin that you need to use. You'll have clay in there. You have your mixing cups. Focus, you dummy. It will have your mixing cups and the mold It will not have your mold release, but you can brush on your parts, like lightly brush on some cooking oil, or you can get that spray, pan spray. You can pan spray it if you want. You just got to let some of that stuff is thicker than the mold release I use, so you just got to let it set on your product before you put rubber on it, and making sure that it's got all the air bubbles. And I'll do this several times, guys, throughout it setting. That is a pretty big air bubble. Usually I don't pop them, but see right there, you just pop that and then it starts filling itself in. You guys can see the more I do that, the less bubbles are coming up. Mooger, I actually pick up Parafilm. You can find this on eBay. The last time I bought it, it was in a 2-can set. It was in a 2-can set. And I didn't realize one is an epoxy Parafilm and the other one was polyester. And I don't know how I bought it and didn't know the difference. It's supposed to be an improved, but I have never used this one yet because this one right here lasts so long. So I don't know how you'll find it now. It's from PB. Maybe have a better product name somewhere on here you can order it from, but that's basically it. The directions all say the same. You know, hold 12 to 15 inches from the mold surface and spray and mist onto the surface. A little goes a long way, a lot doesn't know better. And the purpose of them saying a lot does know better, because if you spray a whole lot on there and it builds up, then you get a void when you do your, you'll get a void when you do your, you'll get a void when you're putting this mold over. But like, let's. I really don't need no valve covers. Let me see something that we might need. I'm gonna try to find something, guys, that I could use parts for. All right, now this is for dish. Like I said, guys, this is basically this week's tech tip. Is I showed you guys how to mix the mold. Now, if you don't use Alumilite and you go with something like Smooth On or another mold maker, some of them are 50-50. So that means if you put in 110 of the mold, you need to put in 110 of the activator. You know, when they're almost all your good molds are going to be 2-part molds. Don't use that water mix stuff. It's more along the lines of paper mache. You know. I don't know if that's so much a hobby there, Butch. See you, brother. Have a good morning. Alright, so here, what I did here is these are the Zimmerman smoothies. I made a copy of those because at the time I needed a set of smalls all the way around, and I just made the mold of both of them. And then I put these are the same ones I put on the Green Fairlane and on the Magnum wagon. But as you can see, the Zimmerman wheels, when you order the Zimmerman wheels from Steve off of Facebook, you'll get chrome centers, you'll get chrome lips, and I wanted a Stilly, you know, no chrome, so I glued the trim ring on here and this. Now I'm going to show, now this is going to be for dish, guys. You guys can stick around if you want, but I'm going to put a mold release on these dish, and then we'll mix up some resin. Alright. Now this got a little mold release on it. Not a whole lot, but like I said, less is better. And then I just slap it to make sure I get the mold release down into the jams. Now I'm going to open up a brand new thing of resin. This is the resin I also use, guys. It's also the Alumilite resin. And like I said, the purpose is because of availability. Get us back down there. You know what? I'm going to open up this little one. Inside this box is 2 little things of resin, so I'm going to open up those first. They have never been opened yet. Put that in there. And then you always want to shake up your resin because it have stuff sitting at the bottom of it or whatnot, you know. So you always shake it up. Now, not so much part A, but part B, I always shake up. Alright, so there's that. Okay, now, to me, I don't use a lot of resin. Yeah. Now, guys, I've seen the comment a minute ago up to where somebody had made a comment. And you guys are grown men. You make the choices you want to. I've never held nobody's hand, and I've never needed nobody to hold my hand. So what I'm giving you guys now is just a suggestion on what you can build and not build, you know, something to help you. So I hope I can help you. But yeah, there's different people in the community, different attitudes, different friendships. Just be wise in your decisions. Make your own decisions. Don't act out or don't follow if, you know what I'm saying? Me and Jimmy's always been friends, and I've always gotten along with Little Joe. I do get along with Chaz, but for the most part, I let that between them. Chaz's video this morning commented that a few other people are jumping in. And, you know I pissed, I made Chaz mad by not responding, but I'm just having fun with what I want to do on my own pages, and I'm sorry that Chaz got upset about that, but I can't control what Jimmy and Joe and them guys do between themselves. They're grown men, you know. So if you guys seen what I did here, is I put 5 cc's of the B, I put 5 cc's of the A, and you see I didn't fill the cup up all the way, because you could waste the resin. And then what you do, chicken, you just come in here, you mix all that up, and see how long I let it set there. It just takes that much amount of time to set up, just like that. And then right there's already a resin setting up and hardened. And I wanted to show you guys, this set here is old, and that's why this cured up so fast. Even with me shaking it up, it still cured that fast. It's already curing. So you got to make sure once you open resin that you keep it moving. You can't open it up, pour 2 parts, and then come back to your resin in a year. So this is one thing I wanted to show you, because we've had that a mini cast set for a while. One way you can tell your product if you're buying it from, if you're going to buy it from Hobby Lobby, is up here. These dates up here have something to do with it, you know. I couldn't tell you what it is, but I think that code there, and I don't know. But we're going to open up this brand new resin, and we're going to make some real parts. Because we just got this stuff yesterday. And these are the big daddies here. Yeah, you can tell. Look at the difference. Here's the old resin, and here's the new resin. You can see the color, but see, if you didn't know the color, you know what I mean? And usually the part to go bad is the B. And we'll show you what it usually looks like here. You got to get all this stuff opened up because it's brand new. The only thing that... Yeah, I hate typing too, Tony. I can't spell as well as I talk. And that's why, you know, when I posted my comment about Spazzed Out on Facebook, and some of you guys replied, I wasn't trying to give the spotlight to a troll. I was trying to show you guys how easy it is to have fun with them instead of getting pissed off and leaving videos cussing and threatening people, you know, and stuff like that. And like I said, I can't help the way any of you guys perceive my comments. That's on you guys. Alright, so now with the good resin, you see how clear it is? Looks like syrup. I got 5 of B. And we'll do 5 of A. And you see the difference between the bad resin and the good resin? Now when you start mixing it, it will change colors. But it will stay liquid. It won't start being chunky like that. So usually I stir it up a little bit. Hello, Niall. How you been, bud? Have you looked into any of that Vallejo distributors or anything, bud, like we talked last week? Yeah, Pete, I guess you're right. It does look like a shot of Jack. So then what I do is I slowly pour it in the middle and then let it go about like that. You don't want to just pour it in there. Looks like I'm doing 2 at once. Alright, so now once I do that, I have my toothpick out. And you always got to make sure you chase the air bubbles. I'm going to run it around like that. Pop that one right there. You run it around like that. Make sure you get in all the lug nuts. The Zimmerman wheels are full of detail. They're lovely wheels. Alright, right there. And then you can take the same brush. Usually I have a piece of paper down here, guys. Here's my usual board. And then what I do is I take this, get in the camera. Alright. Then usually what I do after I chase the air bubbles, I just run the resin off so that way I don't have a whole lot of flash. And then you'll be able to see this here in a minute, dish. You'll see it here in a minute start to cure up. Once it starts to cure, it will turn white. Since we have a little bit of resin still, I'm going to spray that down. See how slow it's getting now? Now it's starting to cure. So right now I'll just do that. Go over the top of these. That way I don't have to waste any resin. It says it's a 5 to 10 minute demold time, but usually it takes a little longer than that. I don't like my parts coming out soft, so usually I leave it in there like that. Another thing that's good about doing stuff like this, you guys know I've been doing a little bit of figures. So the spiders, the spiders that I've been working on from WizKids, it came with 2 bases, but not a 3rd base. And this right here is supposed to be like a human carcass, a human carcass wrapped up. So if you wanted a base for all 3 or for other figures, because my little guys will be able to set on here, I'm working on some, I don't really want to touch them, but I'm working on some little goblins, guys, when I have spare time. I'm working on these little goblins. So, you know, if I wanted one of them on a base, I could copy this base and then set this little goblin on top of it. That would be a product that you could use to recast. I know some of the guys in Warhammer. Okay, look, Dish. Do you see it? See it curing now? Yeah, Stig. Hey, dude, your diesel you're working on is gonna be a monster, dude. Guys, Stig, if you're not subscribed to him, go sub to him. He has a, is it a 1/4 scale, Stig, or is it 1/6? It is huge, guys. He's got a custom paint job on it. He's doing custom interior. It's all lit up. Stig is doing one hell of a job on that build. So Dish, as you can see it curing. Some guys have some clear resin. You can use automotive resin, but it's a little bit sticky and whatnot. Yeah, 1/14 scale. I just know the damn thing is huge, brother. Huge. While that's curing, I'm going to show some more stuff to you guys. Well, now listen, Jones. You're... Sweet, that's good. Wonder how much it would cost me to ship you something, Neil. I have... This is my original paint stand for Vallejo paints, Neil. Before I made my other rack, I had this rack here made. And the bottles fit right in. See, that right here would be a nice little stand for your bench top if you can get a hold of the Vallejo paint. Let me know your address, and then I'll see what it takes to get this shipped to you. And that right there, you can have this. Now, Jones, you can, we can't. I don't know how to phrase this without pissing someone off, or pissing off everybody. I should say, but if you can be respectful to all individuals, refrain from being threatening and just like vulgar. It's like playing with a telemarketer to me, you know. If they're going to waste my time, I'm going to waste some of their time. But that's different than what some of the other, you know, some of the other comments going on. I don't know who started what and where it started. None of my business. I was just replying to, you know, my name being brought up. But you're free to do what you want. You're a grown man, Jones. If you wanna tassel around with them, that's your choice. I can't tell you what to do. Okay, now that this has been set for a few minutes, chicken, now you can take your mold and you can either see how I pulled off the slag. You can either pick it up like this and pull it, or you can wait till it gets a little bit harder. I don't let it set in there really, really long, but I don't let it set in there long enough to be soft. And since the resin was already starting to cure, I didn't have time to chase the air bubbles out. And that's what happens when you don't chase the air bubbles out. See where it's missing stuff? And I've actually seen people on Facebook and YouTube still wanting to sell these parts, you know, even though they're so harsh like that. But let's go look at the Zimmerman wheels that we done. Now, if done right, they're still a little soft. If done right, They should be nice and clean. Let's see, yeah, they're still a little soft. See, that's... Usually I leave them in there a little bit longer, but you can see what they look like when they cure. And then if you chase all your air bubbles out and everything, you end up with this. Let me get you a new clean sheet here. You can heat it up. You can heat it up with the lamp, but the best thing is to let it cure. This right here is an old mold. I got the wheels I needed out of here. And then if you use a mold over and over and over, or if you don't use a release agent, you'll pull the mold out a little at a time. So here's the wheels, like I said, and there's no air bubbles in them. I know some people don't like smooth Alumilite because they say it's got air bubbles, but you can see right there, what is on the wheels now is me damaging the mold. I poured resin in it one time and I'd forgot to use the release agent. And so what happens is some of the wheel stuck. But you can see outside of me damaging the mold, you can see where all the details are in there. You can see the lug nuts, the center caps. You know. But here's a set that I done. I didn't, you know, here's a set I done. You can see there's no damage to it. The molds do go bad, guys. So you have to be able to, here's another set that I done that, you know, there's no damage to. Thanks, Dave. But like I said, you guys can order the original Zimmerman wheels off Facebook. And like you see how these are thin. I needed them thinner for another product. But I've made, you know, there's so many parts that I've made that I'll reuse. Yeah. And then like this right here is all speakers that I've done and casted over the years. You know, so just they're in my case, but I've shared a lot of this stuff with you guys, and I've made some of you guys pay the shipping or whatnot. But for the most part, guys, it's a good way to keep parts stocked up that you know you'll use often, and what have you. And you can see the mold here in the background. No more air bubbles. The more you pound it, the more you keep it. It is some tedious work. And tomorrow we can unmold this and make some parts. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Thank you guys for tuning in. I got to show you bad resin. I got to show you making the parts. There is 2 more parts to this video. It's posted up online. I mean on YouTube. Go over there and check it out. It will show more about the demolding process and the casting process. For some reason, the first mold where we're placing the parts and making the mold disappeared. So today I wanted to do that. Hey Wayne, no problem, buddy. Wayne, the benefits, my belief, you know, because I use both products, the benefits between Alumilite and Smooth On is 50-50 on their mold, which is great. But watch out what mold you get, because this, no, I don't see it. This is a Smooth On mold. I don't know where my original boxes are. I have to find the original boxes. But this right here is a Smooth On mold, and it's not as flexible. So when you go to buy the mold, try to pick up Omo 30. You want to try to pick up Omo 30 or an undercut mold. Look at it and it will say undercut. So you'll have to look for an undercut mold and what have you. You'll get a better flexibility. I believe the better the flexibility of the mold, the better your part will be. I don't believe so today, Pete. The kids and everything. I'm doing this before they wake up. Oh, he didn't recommend? The Alumilite resin is good. I like the Alumilite resin because it's 50-50 and it's not as porous as the Smooth On. Some of the Smooth On resin seem to be, I don't know, it absorbed the paint. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, these are starting to cure up pretty well. And like I said, I'll let them set. I let my resin set for maybe a day before I clean them up. You know, I let them get really good and hard. Yeah, but the Smooth On, almost all your Smooth On product is a 50-50 mix, and it's easier. It's easier for the user. You know what I mean? Being a 50-50 mix. So, we made a mess. But yeah, that'll be, yeah, Wayne, jump on in here. And like you said, leave your comparison. It's great for the community. It's great for the community. To get a little diversified. You know, like it was said in all the conflict going around this last couple weeks, I don't want to be egotistic. I want to share the knowledge that I've have for this hobby through the experiences I had in this hobby. And for you other guys, jump in, say your piece. I don't want to be egotistic, and I don't want you guys to think I'm the only guy out here to follow. There's great guys in the community that do build. You know, I try not to bash anybody's builds. If you want help, experience, if you want some insight on what you feel you need help with, let me know so I could help you with that. I don't mind helping. I don't mind sharing my ideas. I'm a grown man about it. We can talk it out. I can show you the different stuff. And like Wayne was saying, Wayne is up north in Canada, I believe. And Wayne had mentioned that he would do a spot. He would do a video over the Smooth On, and that is great. Me and Wayne are good friends. We followed each other over the years. It's not like Wayne was trying to take away from what I shared with you guys today. He's going to share and show you guys another product that I'm not doing. There's no conflict. There's no I'm better, you're better type attitude between the two of us. He's just going to have the access to a different product than I do. So you guys go up there. If you ain't subscribed to Wayne yet, subscribe to Wayne's channel. He hasn't posted much lately, really busy. You guys know how summer is for a lot of people. But follow the community to the point to where it's of value, not because you're riding in the shadows or coattails. I appreciate you guys following me and supporting me. Yeah, no problem, Wayne. And, we're going to get heated. We're going to get excited. But if it doesn't directly involve you and you can refrain from it, then refrain from it. But as of what went down the last couple days, or last week or so, I should say, if you can put some insight in it, like the video that came up today. Now, I get along with Chaz. Well, I thought I got along with Chaz. I don't know if he's still upset with me or not. When Darren Shank made his remarks, Darren had some good points in what he was doing. If we're not supposed to reply to the troll and start the conflict, it was said that my post made people that followed Chaz leave the hobby. Dude, I'm sorry if that really happened, but my comment was comical. I didn't use no profanity. I didn't, if you guys can look on there, as the spazzed out zombie was leaving comments, I was replying to, yeah, it's drama, Tony. And I try to reply to it as it affected me, and I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing that that I thought was derogatory, and then I didn't respond to Chaz's comment. All I did was a thumbs up, and Chaz got upset because I left just a thumbs up. But then again, if I had replied to his comment, it would just kept carrying on, and that's what Darren pointed out. And then a new video came up today. You guys are all grown men. This is the internet. You guys are free to say, speak, and do whatever you want. I can't control none of that. Only you guys can control that. It's just, I don't want you guys to think I was an instigator of anything. I posted comments on my YouTube page. I posted comments on my Facebook page. I didn't go to nobody else's channel. I didn't go to nobody else's page. What I wrote, what I posted was a conversation between me and Spaz. I was trying to be funny about it. And, I hope you guys have a sense of humor and you can read about it. One of the comments that was said that, I'm listening to this guy with the lisp. And if you guys read the response I put, it was... Yeah, you're right. I feel the same way, Chris. Everybody thinks we play with toys anyway, don't they, buddy? This is a great community. I'm sorry Chaz is upset. I'm sorry that the actions between Chaz and whatever started has flowed over to a few other people being called out. Chaz is an interesting builder. He has his own take on the hobby. He has his own offers to the hobby. Little Joe is great. I've always been a fan of Little Joe's. I've always been a friend of Little Joe's. And you guys know the love that I have for Fast Jimmy. The time me and Jimmy shared together. Jimmy's encouragement when I was first coming to the YouTube community. And you guys, I'll say this again. I treat each and every one of you guys the same way you guys treat me. Not between the relationship that Chaz has with Jimmy, or not with the relationship that that Butch and that Butch and me have together. I don't want you guys to say, well, I'm gonna like Butch because Butch and David are friends. You guys make your own decisions. Get along with who you want to get along with, and if you guys can't get along with them, then don't view their videos. Don't go to their Facebook. Don't do that. I'm just sorry I got brought up into the negativity, and I wanted to apologize to you guys about that. And I do appreciate all you guys. Yeah, I'm done with it. Now, hope you guys still support Chaz and them, because I want the community to be strong. I don't want the negativity to have a big backlash. Thanks, Jamie. Hey, speaking of which, you guys have a great day. Time for me to get things going. We had a good hour-and-a-half show. I got to speak my mind. You guys got to leave your comments. I got to show you a new tip. Tomorrow, I'll probably get some... Hey, with the kids home from school, that's how it feels like anyway, Chris. And then I'll demold this, and I'll let you guys know the outcome. Thanks, Dave. Yeah. yeah, keep that update. If you guys ain't followed the Stig, again, go over there and check out Stig. He's always been a big part of my bench. He's from the UK. We got to share stories, tips. We've talked back and forth for a long time. Great guy. Always building some great stuff. And you guys got to see his custom decals. I wish I could make decals like Stig. He makes some pretty good decals. So you guys all have a great day. We got some stuff underway, George. Hope you get the chance to watch this. We'll see you guys later. You guys all have a great day. Don't forget, check out scaledworld.net. If you guys can check them out here at Facebook, on Instagram. Here's some of the info for here's some of the info you guys can get to display your own models over there at Scaled World. If you have some free time, go over there and check out the Styrene Syndicate here on YouTube. Check out some of their videos. They go live every now and again. Don't forget to check out UMP for modeling products. I got a new, the bench display is set up a little different, guys. I got some new bench swag in. You see this great big old label I got from Gilbert over there at Red Dragon Model Works. I got a new Red Dragon sticker for the desk because the other one got put up on the wall. If you guys can see that, the big one got put up on the wall, but I never had a big one for the Styrene Syndicate, so he sent me that. He's also sent me some great other little stuff this week. If you guys go to the Facebook page, you guys will be able to see what Gilbert and the Styrene Syndicate sent for me. Some really neat stuff. I got a Badger 200, guys, so maybe I could start doing some airbrush videos for you guys. But with all that said, you guys have a great day. Enjoy everything about the hobby as much as you can. Love it. Share it. Keep it growing. You guys have a good one. Later, brother. Yeah, if you guys ain't subscribed to Jimmy, jump up over there real quick. Hit on his little picture. Go sub Jimmy. He ain't had a whole lot of videos out lately, but he has some great builds from in the archives. Go over there and check that out. Big motivator. For me, I got to motivate him as well, and great guy. He might even still have some shirts for sale, so contact him, help him out with that, and you guys have a great one. I'll see you next Thursday for sure. And next Thursday, I already got planned next Thursday, we're going to do some rust holes and some detailing of rust. So we'll see you guys.